Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello and happy new year. It is 2025 and we have a really cool podcast episode to kick us off for the new year. Today, Chris coaches a lovely woman, Victoria Edmond, on our podcast today, all about body image, disconnected parts of self, and essentially developing or creating, moving towards self-acceptance. So I love these root cause coaching sessions. I personally love taking clients through a coaching session in the transformational space. It's a really sacred space, and it's where you can get some really deep shifts, connection to self, and transformation. Victoria is not new to the coaching space. So in her introduction, when she's talking to Chris, she does mention that she has been working on deeper inner soul connection with self work for many, many years. And she's come to this episode wanting to really work on disconnected parts of self. So when she thinks about herself, her internal representation of herself is really positive and vibrant and abundant. Whereas when she looks at herself in the mirror, looking at her physical body, it doesn't quite match what she feels internally. So because Victoria has been in the transformational space, she understands how to connect to herself quite quickly. You will hear throughout this coaching session that Chris is able to guide her really quickly to a deeper root, a deeper wound, and she experiences a really profound transformation in under an hour. And this is the gold that can happen the more you become connected with yourself and you hold yourself in the transformational space. A little bit about Victoria. So she is the founding director of Big Hearted Education, which is her business, and she supports family daycare educators to stand out, work less, and earn more. She is an awesome woman. You will hear threaded throughout this conversation how passionate she is in her business and the work that she does to help support educators and family daycare business owners. Also, by the way, if you are a daycare educator, I would head down to the show note links because I have popped a link to her website, and she's an awesome woman. She's also in our business program that Chris and I are in. So we know Victoria from a business point of view. And this coaching session, we really get to know her at a very deep personal level. So it's a really rare honor to listen to a very personal coaching session. So I want to say a very big thank you to the beautiful Victoria for allowing us to publish this episode. It's a really sacred thing to put out into the world. And I hope that as you're listening, you send her some virtual energetic love as you listen in to this conversation. And I'm sure if you are someone who has ever had body image issues or you feel like there's warring parts inside of you, then you're going to really resonate with this episode. Also in the episode, Chris takes Victoria through a parts integration process, which I know that clients who listen to our podcast, they always reach out and they're like, oh, you talked about a process or you talked about a coaching framework. Where in the Ending Body Burnout method can I find that process or take myself through it? So in the show notes, this is for clients only. I have put in the link a direct link to the parts integration process that you can take yourself through. So you can jump onto that link. And if you want to become a client, we are actually opening doors to our Ending Body Burnout method on the 22nd of Jan is when the doors open to the public. We only open doors to our signature program 3 times a year. So now is your chance, and it's a great way to start 2024 and make your New Year's resolution actually come into fruition rather than it just being another goal that fizzles out after a few weeks. So you can jump down to the show notes there. If you pop your name on the wait list, if you're interested, then you will get the opportunity to join early in the early bird period. And when you do, you get to access over $500 worth of early bird bonuses. So I definitely pop your name down there. We also only have limited spaces in our program because our program isn't a course. It's not group coaching, although there are elements of both inside the program, but you do get one-on-one coaching sessions, treatment reviews, one-on-one intimate coaching feedback, answers to treatment protocols via email, unlimited. So we can make sure that we can serve our beautiful people and not burn ourselves out. We only have limited spaces. So being on the wait list means that you can pop your name down. We do sell out at the end of launch. Every time we have launched over the past 18 months. So I definitely pop your name down so you don't miss out. And one last announcement before we get into the coaching session episode today is we are also holding a free live coaching week called Unraveling Perfectionism and Body Burnout. And that starts or kicks off on the 21st of Jan. So we're holding this as part of launch week of opening the doors to the Ending Body Burnout Method program. It's an awesome opportunity to jump on live, to get some free coaching from Chris and I, to also have some insights. And we'll be really focusing this coaching week on perfectionism, overdoing, people-pleasing patterns, how it's actually burning out your body. We'll dig into body systems and the physical side of that. And we'll also take you through how to get to the deepest root cause of the patterns that you're running that are burning your body out. And on the last day, we're also going to flip into more lifestyle support. So we're going to look at how you can use food as medicine and movement as medicine to heal from body burnout in a way that is flowful rather than forceful. Because if you do run or have been running perfectionism, overdoing patterns, often you can force healing and it does not work. It only lasts short term, or maybe it is long term, but your body is still stuck in fight flight. So we really want to help you to understand how to connect to your body, how to create self permission from an unconscious point of view so that you can move forward with healing in a way that is flowful, not forceful, and in a way that you can actually heal. So I'll pop the link to the free coaching week in the show notes below that you are very welcome to join. We've had so many people get transformations and shifts in the free content alone. So even if you're not interested in joining the program, it will be great to have you on live. And yeah, it's a great time to serve our community before we close doors and then serve our clients. All right, let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome, Victoria, to the Ending Body Burnout show. I'm excited to have you on. Why don't you so Philly would have introduced you just now, but why don't you just for me, tell me a little bit more about you, how old you are, where you live, what you do, all that sort of stuff.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having me. I was very excited to be able to come on this podcast. I watched Philly do a presentation on the Gold Coast with Tina Tower and instantly fell in love with Philly. She's just such a beautiful lady. So I'm very appreciative that I get an opportunity to speak with you both. My name is Victoria Edmond. I am a youthful 45. I have 2 children. My son's 23 and my daughter just turned 21. And I know I don't look old enough, but I am. So I had children really, really young. I'm in a marriage that's 24 years. So, yes, we were very quick to fall pregnant. So, my entire life has been based around children, having children, raising children. And then I began to study and went into early childhood education. Was a little bit disillusioned. I come from a Waldorf or Steiner background, which is where my children started in school. So a lot of the learnings that I had and a lot of the education that I had while my children were little was through that medium. And it's beautiful. It's very slow pedagogy and, less is more and all that kind of stuff. So when I went into early childhood education and worked into long day care settings, I was quite disillusioned. And the opportunity came up to start a family daycare service. So that is what I have spent the last 11 years doing. Family daycare, I now have just shy of 50 educators within my business, and I have several staff that work with me, not for me. We all work together, and we have a great team and a fantastic business in the family daycare. Through COVID, I started a second business called Big Hearted Education. And that is the business that I know you and Philly through with Tina, because I do online courses, I have a podcast, I have a membership, and I provide planners and guides for educators all around Australia. So, my main philosophy for that is to help educators to be able to stand out, work less, and earn more. So, what I do in my private time or personal time when I'm not thinking about business is I love to go to the gym. I love to lift heavy weights. I was competing in strongwoman competitions for quite a while until I injured my back, and then I had a sort of step back from that. And I love to sing and sit in circle with women. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Okay, strong woman. I
Yeah.
love. So I did strongman for quite a while as well, like for about 10 years.
Yeah, cool.
Down in Tassie, former Tasmania's strongest man, and came second at nationals a couple of times in a row.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I used to train with Coco, who went
Great,
to
awesome. Jean,
yeah.
Jean
Yeah,
Stewart.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and yeah, so I my can I be a wanker?
Sure, go for it.
And tell you my PB on my leg press is 350 kilos.
Nice, very
Yeah.
nice, very
Yes.
nice. What's your
Yes.
favorite strong man, strong woman event?
Definitely the log press.
Same. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
just got the massive overhead strength. So, yeah, those
Nice.
lats kick in and
Oh, awesome. I love it. So good. That's
yeah.
awesome. So great. What else do we want to do today? We have this beautiful opportunity today to do some coaching, some live coaching on the floor. What would you like to talk about today?
Okay, so being a strong woman, the last scan I had on my body, the DEXA scan, pulled up 65 kilos of just muscle.
Hmm.
I also carry additional weight, quite a significant amount of additional weight. I've had all of my blood testing done. I did DNA testing earlier this year. I've had a massive focus on sleep. I feel like my cortisol levels really are the next thing that I need to try and address to start looking because I have this huge amount of muscle and strength and a really high bone density, all of my numbers I feel like are really skewed and it mucks with my head. So I think the thing I'd like to focus on today is to really look at, and I don't know that we'll get it in one session, but I'm sure that this is going to be something that resonates with so many other people. The outside does not match the image I have of myself in my head.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's the image that you've got in your head, by the way?
Um, I definitely don't have an image of myself as being as big as I am. So when I see a full frontal or a full body picture, I'm always shocked. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's not how I don't feel like that. And I have this huge amount of energy and vitality and life force and connectedness, but there is a big disconnection between the outside presentation. Does that make sense?
Maybe. I'd love to ask you some more questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And so before we go into that, down that road, what would you like to have happen today? Like we've got a nice opportunity to chat things through. Your outside doesn't match your inside. You've done DEXA scans, done a few tests, a lot of work on yourself. What would you like to have happen today, or even if today's the first step in the right direction, like what would you like to have happen?
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of the journey. Like, oh God, you're always on the journey. Like, but I suppose that's a really interesting question. There's so much to say to that. And I'm very aware that it's one session. So I guess the beginning of making friends, maybe
Okay.
with the two, it's almost like there's two different people almost. So I think there just needs to be some kind of connection.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. So a part of you, you've got a part of you that sees yourself as full of vitality, energy, all that sort of thing. That's what you see yourself as, and then you catch a glimpse of the outside you, and it's shocking. Is that what you mean by making friends with those two people, or are you talking about making friends like with actual real people?
Oh, no, no, no. I've got no problem making friends with real people. I talk to anybody. I just did a month solo traveling Canada, America, and Mexico, and I was a little bit worried that I would be a little bit lonely. Absolutely not. I just made friends everywhere. So it's definitely more an internal connection. There's a massive disconnect between the internal world and the external world.
Okay. Cool. All right. Can we go down there then? Let's chat about
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you just take a moment, Victoria, the very first thing, I've already introduced you. You're already here. Um, but since we're talking about outside and inside, I'm wondering if you can give yourself permission to be here now, and kind of forget, but not forget that we're on a podcast. We're here chatting. Um, but can you give yourself permission to be here now with me and have a conversation about this inside outside dynamic?
Definitely. Yep. I am completely open. As I said, I sometimes lack filters. So I'm not scared. I've done a lot of work for anybody that's ever heard of NSA or network spinal analysis, which is a somato psychic form of chiropractic. And I've done like 18 years of that work now. So for me to go into those states is very, very easy. And yeah, I feel safe. I can keep myself feeling safe and comfortable at all times. So I just hope that A, I can get something out of this, and B, that there may be other people that will resonate with what we uncover and share and talk about today.
Cool.
Hmm.
That sounds fun. Um,
Hmm.
so let's chat about these two parts then. Hey, you've got a part of you, um, Yeah, there's two parts. There's the part that you see on the outside, the part of you that's on the inside. Can you speak a little bit more about that? Give us a little bit more information. Tell me more about what you mean. Like I can, in my head, I can guess, but I want to try and
Mhm.
take as much guesswork away as I can.
Yeah, of
Um,
course,
can you
of
speak
course.
more to that?
I like sitting here thinking about it because I mean, obviously, these are the things that when there's a wound around something, it's very easy to avoid going into it. So I may have this conscious awareness of what's happening, but quite often we'll just skirt around it. So sitting here thinking about it with you right now, it definitely feels like there is a spiritual aspect and I'm very connected to that spiritual aspect, but then it's linking it to the physical side of that. And I suppose that's where the disconnect comes from. It feels like there's a whole lot of work spiritually and on a soul level that I'm doing that I very much quite quickly go into that. But it's also an unconscious way of avoiding the physical side. And I guess, if I don't look after the physical side, it can cut the soul's journey short. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's definitely how it feels. Like I can quite easily go into that. It could also be ego sort of stuff that there's an important job here I've got to do, and I've got to put my work in front of my like self to a degree, and I make it more important about everybody else and not about me. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Um, so which road do we go down now? Which door do we open and have a look inside? Um,
Yeah, see, I'm also aware this is one of my patterns. I can talk around stuff without actually getting to it and making it sound like I know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm very good at that. I'm becoming more and more and more aware of that pattern, um, as a way of avoidance. There's a lot of avoidance there.
okay. All
Mm.
right then. Well, try this one. What are some nasty things you say about yourself?
Ooh, I have to think about that. Um,
Yeah, and take your time. Like because then that's going to be real. Hey, and I appreciate that. That's a very that's not superficial. That question.
no, no, it's not.
That's a defluffed question right there.
Isn't it? Isn't it? And this is where like I go, oh shit, I feel exposed now,
Ah.
which is totally fine. And yeah, okay. So what are some nasty things I say to myself about myself? Um, there's aspects that I don't like that I just completely shut down. So looking at my tummy area, like I never am nice about that. I'm never nice about my arms. My physical appearance really is the thing. So what do I say about myself? It's not so much that I have conversations with myself, but I just disconnect. I just really disconnect. And I suppose that's a way of protecting myself because there is this underlying awful feeling. It's not words for me, it's feelings. It's how I make myself feel. And then because that becomes quite intense, it comes in like waves, um, I will cut that off. And I will, I guess, probably go and do things that are not healthy, um, like chocolate. I don't really drink a lot of alcohol, so I don't numb myself through that, but definitely food has been a way to numb those feelings, which is bonkers because that's causing the problem.
Okay.
So it's definitely a feeling, not words for me.
All right. And well, who who are you? Who's this person that you maybe don't like as much as that don't feel like does that part of you have a name or an identity? Like, can you tell me more about this part of you that's just not as attractive to you or you don't like as much?
Um, can I share that I did ayahuasca a while ago and
Sure.
share part of that process? Okay, I just wasn't sure. I'm obviously not going to say where I did it because you're not allowed to do it in Australia.
Aren't you really?
Um,
I've never done it, but
no, oh,
I didn't know.
it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, right.
I'm still unpacking it, and I did it about 18 months ago. I'm still unpacking, but when you ask that, the instant image that, like, I went to do that, there was a significant traumatic event. My husband was involved in a workplace incident, which saw a young man lose his life in the most traumatic way possible. And I then became quite good friends with his parents. So we went and did this process together. And the process of going through ayahuasca is you need to cleanse yourself. So it wasn't as deep as what you do when you go to Peru to do it, but it was definitely with conscious awareness. So I went to find the parts of myself that had become a bit scattered and a bit lost through, having children so young and all that sort of stuff. So um, there was one particular moment when I went outside to sit down because it was a little bit intense inside and I needed to have a little bit of space. And I was sitting on this deck and I just was having a moment with myself. My hands were on my body and I was just breathing and feeling all these sensations. And, I all of a sudden noticed that there was this little creature that came out from underneath the deck. And the way I saw it was kind of like Gollum, but a fat version of Gollum. It was this creature that was so timid and scared, and all this little creature had was a little blanket around itself. And I realized that, oh, that's me. Like, that's this part of myself that has been timid and scared and afraid to really come out. And I watched this creature for a little while and then I realized, oh, that's me. So I guess I'm calling myself the creature because I haven't got a name, or that part of me hasn't got a name. And that part of me was in the dirt, like underneath everything with a tiny little blanket. And as soon as someone walked out the door, it disappeared. And I spent the rest of the day trying to call it back. See, and there's such a disconnection now. It, creature, like I just, yeah. So I can't even remember what your original question was now.
Uh like what's the I guess we're chatting about the nasty or accusation or mean thing you think about yourself and then the conversation turned to the creature, but you also called it Fat Golem, didn't you?
Yeah, like a chubby, naked, like bear. They're just it's just really vulnerable, really um there's not a nastiness to this. There's like Gollum has that, that desire for the ring and the things, and but there wasn't any of that. This little part of myself was just, I suppose you could probably look at it as an inner child side that was just so timid, like a little puppy dog, when they're really scared and there was that energy around it. So I'm becoming friends with that. I really am. And being more comfortable and being able to verbalize what it is now. So I think that's probably the part that is going to play a big connecting piece between that what I have in my spirit, my soul, to the physical. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm here to talk to you about.
Interesting. This is really interesting. There's a part of you that there's like a little bit of a conflict going on inside you, isn't there? There's a part of you that you accept wholeheartedly, you love, you enjoy, and you enjoy, and you love that part. But then there's another part of you that you haven't fully embraced yet, or you haven't fully loved fully yet, and you're trying to, this is my words, but you're trying to force yourself to love that part of you.
I don't know if it's a force. I feel like I'm more trying to connect to it.
Cool.
And there's like this elusiveness to it. Yeah. And maybe it's because I haven't made space to invite this more. I wasn't even aware of it before I did the ayahuasca. And I could be completely tripping, which was the purpose of ayahuasca to a degree. Yeah, there needs to be an inviting. That's what I feel like I am in the process of doing. And I feel like going through that perimenopause stuff too, like you really, as a woman, start to release and let go of the things that no longer serve you and find that deeper connection to yourself. Because I want to be feeling whole, and I guess I don't feel whole. I feel like there's parts of myself that are missing at the moment that I haven't fully deeply connected to, and that's what I'm looking for, is that connection piece.
Okay. So can we take it from the trip and be real, like bring it into like more like around, okay, so there's parts of your identity, like your real identity, like who you are as a person, and then what you believe and what you value, your abilities, what you can do, behaviors that you've got every day, your environment that you have, and then above it all, you've got a reason for being the way that you are right now. I have a feeling that our conversation today is it's around like maybe self-acceptance. You've got a part of you that isn't accepting some part of you. Is that can you put it into a better word? Or
I would completely agree with that. There's definitely part of me that's not allowed to make decisions or be part of decision-making processes, and is like a drain. So like so many aspects of my life are awesome. And then there's just that one part around my physical body that I haven't made friends with. I haven't accepted. So yeah, I would agree with that.
all right. So this is a conflict in yourself. You got a royal battle going on. You have a Ukraine, Russia, or a Palestine, Israel going on in you, right? This part of you. Philly and I had a fight recently, like about a month or so ago, and I can't even remember what it was about on the spot. I mean, if I think about it, I probably could. We were both arguing for what we believed was the right way, and we disagreed on it. And if we didn't love each other, there'd be no point in even arguing. And so the highest common denominator is love for us. And if that's not present, then there's no point. Like, we just, who cares? Like, why do I even care about this? I don't love you. Bye. But love is present. So we do a little check. It's like, do I love you? Yes, I do. Okay. So now let's have a conversation. Let's try and make our marriage better. Let's try and make ourselves better. Let me understand you. You're my best friend. You're my partner in life. I love you. I want the best for you, and I also want the best for me. And something is coming up where that's not, a boundary or a rule has been broken or crossed or whatever. And go to Russia, Ukraine. There's a literal political, physical line that's being crossed, and there's not going to be peace there unless there's a bit of compromise on both parts and needs are met and all that sort of stuff. You've got this battle going on inside you, and if you don't get to the top, if you don't find the highest positive intention for each of these parts, there's never going to be peace. They're never going to come together. They're not going to integrate. Said differently, you're not broken, Victoria. You are wonderfully, you work perfectly. Both of these parts of you want the best for you in some way, shape, or form. But at the moment, it feels like that there's a bad guy and a good guy.
100%.
Yeah.
One lacks a voice.
Lacks a voice.
Yeah. The little timid me lacks the voice, or a voice, to be able to even speak what she wants.
Yeah, okay. So you've got the timid, no voice part, and you've got the other part. What's the other part? Can you
gung ho?
Gung ho.
Smashes everything in its path, I suppose. This is the part of me that gets shit done. This is the part of me that makes things happen. This is the part of me that has the outward appearance. It's magnetic, and makes magic happen. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, do you want to do a little process together, and we'll see if we can integrate these two wonderful parts that you've got.
Sure.
And we'll see what happens. Okay. So you've got the gung ho, smashes everything in its path, gets stuff done, the magnetic makes magic happen part. And you've got the other one that lacks voice, timid. Do they have names? Like, what are these two sides called?
I haven't ever thought of that. I suppose the part that gets shit done is Victoria. And perhaps the smaller, timid side is Vicki, which was what my childhood name was. Took me a long time to own Victoria. It's my birth name, so.
How do you spell
We'll go
Vicky,
with
by the way? With an I or a...
Vicky.
Yeah, cool. My mum's Vicky, with an I.
Yeah, okay.
But not short for Victoria or anything. It's just Vicky.
Just Vicki with an I.
Vicky with an I. So, okay, you've got Victoria and you've got Vicky. Which do you identify most with? Is it at the moment? Is it more Victoria or Vicky? Which is more
Oh,
in you?
definitely Victoria. I went back to using Victoria when I was about 23 or 24. Because when I was a kid, it was like, don't call me Victoria.
Right.
Hate that. And then I'm Vicky. And so then I was Vicky all through school and high school. And then, yeah, I got to about 23, 24 and went, I'm actually ready to own Victoria now. Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to bring both Vicky and Victoria out onto your hands, and if you
hmm
want to, you can close your eyes if that helps you to imagine it a little bit better. Um, which one do you want to chat about first, Vicky or Victoria?
Let's get Victoria
All right,
out.
let's chat about Victoria. So, um, so if you think about it, which hand is Victoria on, left or right?
Left.
She's on the
Left.
left. Okay.
hmm
All right. So if you close your eyes and imagine Victoria coming out onto that hand, onto your left hand, and you just hold up your left hand with your eyes closed and you just look at Victoria on your left hand. What is that part of you? What does that look like? Tell me more about um, any features or qualities that you notice about her.
She's ripped,
Right. Yeah. Okay.
strong,
Yeah. Keep going.
steady, stable, bright, um, confident. She's wearing a beautiful suit. She has long hair. She's on a stage and she's commanding. Hmm.
Got it. What does she feel like? What sort of, if you touched her, maybe you patted, touched, poked, cuddled, smushed, whatever. Like, what sort of feeling is she?
She's soft, but she's solid. She's firm, but she's rounded. She's stable and is like hard to move, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But she's very grounded, very connected, very earthed. Yeah.
All right. And what's her purpose?
To inspire, to share the inner strength that she has with others, to help other people see their own light and ability, and to be a brightness in their day.
And if you think about the first thing that comes to your mind, what's the reason she inspires, helps others to see light, help them see their ability to be a real brightness? What's the reason for that?
So that they can share that with the children they work with, which has a positive impact on the world.
Okay. And what does that give you when Victoria does that and gives that?
A positive legacy that continues on after I'm not on this earthly plane.
And what will that allow you to have? What does that give you?
Um, joy. Joy to know that I have hopefully left the world a better place than I found it.
And just to double check, just to go a little bit more into that, and what does that joy allow you to have? What does it allow you to have?
Satisfaction.
And what
Yeah,
is
a job well done. Like I've imparted something into the world that will continue to have positive impact for people that come after me.
got it? So legacy, people after
Mhm.
you, and that brings a sense of satisfaction and joy. It allows you to have joy. Um,
Mm.
and is there anything that allows you? Sorry, retreat, eject, pull out of that one. What does that give you? Yeah, I know you get it. That gives the world a lot, but what does this give you?
It meets my soul purpose. Like I'm aligned with what I'm here to do.
And when you are following your soul purpose and when you're doing what you're here to do, what does that give you?
Joy, freedom. I
Good.
feel like things are in flow. Things are easy. Like it's easy to make decisions. It's easy to take action. It's easy to um, get enjoyment out of what I do.
Cool.
Yeah, ease and flow and creativity and um, yeah, joy. Definitely joy. Joy keeps popping up.
I've written that down and I've circled that and I put a little smiley face next to that on my notes. uh, that's great.
You know we're changing Vicky's name to Joy, don't you?
Right, are we? She's had a name change. You've had a 25-year-old name change to Victoria. Oh, so
Yeah,
did you say Vicky? Vicky's changing to
yeah,
Joy?
yeah,
Oh, I missed.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Got it.
yeah, yeah. Vicky's changing to Joy.
Vicky's changing to Joy. Okay. Well, here's the thing. If you were to have a look at the other hand at Vicky,
Yep.
you've flat out you're calling her Joy.
Yeah.
What does she look like? What does Vicky/Joy look like?
She's a little girl. She's got white blonde hair. She's very strong and well formed and is a joy. She is a joy. She has this immense light that pours out of her being. Mm.
Nice. And what does she feel like?
She's fun and cheeky as fuck. She's naughty in a fun way. Like she pushes all the boundaries. She pushes. Wow, that was totally different to what I thought when I first started this process. But she is like so incredibly strong, not just physically, but like in her convictions. She knows what she knows. She came here knowing what she needed to do. Holy shit. Yeah. And she got smashed for it.
She got smashed for it. Yeah. And before she got smashed for it, what was her purpose?
To bring joy.
To bring joy.
but to take no shit too, to like really shake things up, to really, she's a bringer of change. Mm.
Ooh. And when
You
she
can feel
bring, oh, sorry, go. Sorry.
you can feel it, hey.
Yeah. Yes.
She's not here to fuck around. She absolutely got hammered.
Mm. And what does what does that part of you give you? What do you get out of this part of you?
I get strength now. I think she's always been feeding that strength. Yeah, very quietly in the background. And I think Victoria's actually been scared of the strength of Joy. And so Victoria has taken over and squashed because she's scared of the immense power that Joy brings. And it's not power to take over the world, but it's knowing how to contain that. But does it need to be contained? Oh, and then comes the conundrum of how to, because there's a fear, because every time Joy has come up, she gets smashed. She gets told she's too much. She's too intense, too this, too that, not right, not good enough. All of those things come up. And so Victoria was created in order to meet somewhere in the middle. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me.
Yeah, big time. And and you've got this these two parts of you are split. You've got this split that's happened
Mm, mm,
to protect to allow you to survive, the whole system to survive.
mm,
And notice that both of these parts, they've got the same positive intention. They've got the same highest intention, don't they?
mm. Because there's a third.
Yeah. But which is tell me more. Tell me more
The
about that.
highest, the highest good.
Yeah.
That's the soul. So that's what I connect into and avoid mainly this side, but have created this side that is more socially acceptable or is easier to manage. I just need to learn how to connect the three so that they work together and in a way that they all have balance.
Got it.
Oh, interesting.
Keep going. Keep going with this. Okay, so if you look at your left hand, um, and notice what resources, attributes, parts that
Well, this side has learnt how to deliver the message that joy has with a softness. Interesting. Okay, so there's that softness, but there's that strength. But that strength is feeding from joy, who is aligned with the purpose of the soul intention. So maybe it is all working. I just haven't actually put them together consciously. Interesting. Wow, okay. So many pennies are dropping here right now for me. So we've actually been working together. I'm just more attuned to Victoria and the soul purpose. and have looked at more of joy as a bit of a hindrance, because joy, when joy comes out, joy has no filter. It's just maybe joy does the smashing and in return is told to get back in her box a bit, because that method of delivery isn't as palatable. Huh. Aha. Okay, that makes sense. I feel
Amazing.
like a crazy woman right now. What have you done to me, Chris?
Beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, so and if you were to, can you imagine if you looked at your let's look at your right hand with your
Mhm.
eyes closed. Imagine this. Imagine your right hand looking at your left and just through the through your mouth speak the words of joy and just say, Victoria, I want these parts of you. I want this attributes of you. So speak from joy to Victoria. What would joy say?
Joy would say, speak up, Victoria. Joy would say, or Joy does say, hmm, Joy says, I am scared. And that I just want a little bit of support in feeling safe. Joy says, I'm tired of giving over to Victoria, but not being held and supported. Huh. So joy is a giving, but feeling like there's nothing in return. Interesting. Okay.
So just take a moment and just let that land. And when you're ready, have the have the left hand, have Victoria turn towards Joy and speak through Victoria's words.
Victoria says sorry. Victoria can see that she can be egotistical and is all about the rah rah, and sometimes misses the finer point, the finer detail. And she can see how she has tried to take over and run the show, and that she sees that there needs to be softness, and sometimes she needs to sit back, and she says sorry.
Good, yeah. Smush them together, bring them together, and allow
Mm.
them to come together, and just allow your unconscious mind to just allow any other parts to join with Joy and Victoria, that they just become part of the whole now in this integration. Yes, beautiful. And you might feel that something new has just been born or
Mm.
realized right now.
Very much. What an awesome process.
When you feel like you've got that, when you feel like that wholeness has come to you and you can really feel it, just take a big deep breath and just allow that to be in you. Allow that to be you. You are that joining together of these two wonderful, beautiful, amazing, different parts of you that have both different strengths and different capabilities and ways of being, and together. Wow. when you can
Hmm.
imagine that integrating and being a part of you going forwards, how is that? How is that going to be different? What's different now as you imagine yourself into the future?
Oh, there's just so much more softness and fluidity. Like, just, yeah, there's no more like push and shove and just under the surface. There's a gracefulness now. Yes, gracefulness. Ha! So interesting because when I did my trip, I had a 32-foot, just slightly shy of 10-meter RV to drive by myself, and I named her Grace
Whoa.
because I had to ask for grace and I had to give myself grace. So
Wow.
graceful, that feels really poignant. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's interesting and so cool.
Hmm. How funny.
You've got this gracefulness inside of you. This gracefulness it's been there. It just you lost it. There was a disintegration, but now it's come together.
Yeah, it's like it was like this.
Yeah.
It was always there. Each one of them had it, but now it feels like
Yeah, cool.
this
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
And just to put this into practicalness, is that a word?
It is
Practicalness.
now.
um,
Practicality.
practicality. That's it. Yeah. The act of practicalitynessism, orization. Um, how? What are some things that you can think of? Just like the first things that pop into your mind. Okay, how can I bring more gracefulness into my life, my environment, my world, my relationships, my career? Like, what pops up?
Yoga,
Wow.
uh, mobility, mobility work. Um, like really embodying that in the physical. Like that's kind of feels like the connecting part there.
Mm,
Mm.
beautiful. What about uh in regards to your appearance? How can you bring gracefulness?
Yoga, dance.
Yeah.
Mm. And that mobility, that flexibility, because my physical body is an expression of my higher self, my soul, my spirit. So when like the state of my body creates the state of my mind, the state of my mind creates the state of my body. So when there's been such a disconnect there, like I can feel it. Like I'm really strong and I'm hyper flexible in some aspects, but then there's other aspects, particularly around my shoulders and thoracic spine and my hips, where there's just not a great deal of flexibility, but there's a huge amount of strength around those areas. So interesting to bring that softness and that fluidity and that gracefulness to that area or to those areas feels like there'll be a lot more of that expressed in the world and the space that I hold and the energy that I put out there.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
Hmm.
I bring
Hmm.
I bring gracefulness to my body, to my spirit, to the world around me. Like how does it if you were to say in your words, how does it feel to say something like that? I bring like just say it from your words. I.
Oh, I do. I bring gracefulness and ease and acceptance and joy to all things that I do now, and with consciousness, awareness, and grace, like to when I don't do it. And then when I remember that I have gone away from it, to give myself that grace to come back. It's coming home. Hmm. Hmm.
That's awesome. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so
That was
much.
amazing.
Thank you for allowing me to be here for that that beautiful process. What a gift.
Thank you very much, because you asked a few very poignant questions that really just opened that door in a way that I haven't opened it before. So I honor you and appreciate you for
Thank you.
holding that space and being in tune to be able to connect into that. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on Victoria's journey. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.